Datura. A failed guide. Dangerous. Datura is a woody stalked, leafy herb growing up to 2 meters. It produces spiny seed pods and large white or purple trumpet-shaped flowers that face upward. Most parts of the plant contain atropine, scopolamine, and hyoscine. It has a long history of use both in America and Europe and is known for causing delirious states and poisonings in uninformed users. Datura is a light green annual or biennial shrubby plant that grows from 2 to 5 feet tall, 1 to 3 meters. It has hairy leaves, spiny fruit, and vibrant flowers. The best known species are D. Stramonium Jimson weed D. Myrtle and D. Inoxia. The plants, seeds, flowers, and roots have all been traditionally used for medicinal or visionary purposes around the world. Dried leaves have been made into smoking blends, sometimes within combination with tobacco or cannabis, and all parts have been used to make teas and ointments. Because Datura is plentiful in many parts of the world, it is sometimes ingested for its psychoactive effects by those who are unaware that its effects may be dangerous and are generally considered very unpleasant. Those Datura seeds and flowers are usually more potent than the leaves and roots. Potency increases over the reproductive period and peaks while the plant is fruiting. As few as 10 Datura seeds taken orally or 1 leaf brewed into a tea can produce profound perceptual changes, and 30-40 seeds is an extremely potent dose. Price-live Datura plants are both common as garden yard plants as well as being available from most garden supply and ethnobotanical companies. Prices of live plants vary by species and vendor. Most Datura consumed is from live plants rather than being purchased pre-prepared. Law Datura is currently uncontrolled in the United States, though it has been outlawed for human consumption in a few states. Datura appears to be uncontrolled in most other countries as well. Chemistry: the main active chemicals present in Datura are the tropane alkaloids scopolamine, atropine, and hyoscine. Pharmacology: scopolamine and atropine are anticholinergic deliriants. They block muscarinic receptors, which in turn excites dopaminergic neurons. They are readily absorbed, partially metabolized by the liver, and mostly eliminated in urine, with a half-life of about 4 hours. Production Datura grows wild all over the world and is commercially cultivated as a source of scopolamine. Many species are grown ornamentally. History: Datura has a long history of medicinal and visionary use in India, Africa, Europe, and the Americas. Its use has been reported in medieval European witchcraft as a flying ointment. Terminology: slang: the substance Datura Jimson weed, devil's apple, thorn apple, stinkweed, devil's weed, mouthpit, moonflower, tallage D. Inoxia. EFFECTS. The main effects of Datura are delirium, extreme disorientation, and realistic hallucinations. Many users report periods of several hours in which they have no memory of what they were doing. Behavior is often irrational and accidental injury is a serious risk. Datura also causes physical effects including blurred vision, inability to focus the eyes lasting up to several days, dryness of mouth, sedation or excitement, inhibited digestion, and an inability to perspire. Onset: when taken orally, the effects can begin in 20-30 minutes but may take as long as 2-3 hours to be noticeable, depending on dose. When smoked, effects may begin in as quickly as 5 minutes. Duration: a moderate Datura dose lasts 8-12 hours, while strong doses can cause effects lasting for 2-3 days. Visual effects: unlike the visual effects frequently reported with psychedelics such as LSD and psilocybin-containing mushrooms, Datura causes frank hallucinations, meaning that the person cannot distinguish between the hallucinations and real objects. Elaborate visions and fantasies are common, sometimes including long conversations with imaginary persons. Smoking phantom cigarettes is often reported, even by non-smokers. Problems: the overwhelming majority of Datura users describe their experience as very unpleasant and often physically dangerous. Users of Datura commonly report blurred vision, sometimes lasting for several days. Datura may cause severe, long-lasting disorientation, confusion, delirium, and hallucinations. Accidents and self-injuries, sometimes requiring hospitalization, are alarmingly frequent among Datura users. Several users of Datura have reported committing crimes such as breaking and entering or assault while under the influence of Datura. There are many reports of serious injury and arrest resulting from Datura intoxication, and several deaths have been attributed to Datura use. High doses of Datura may be toxic. Contraindications: do not take Datura without a sober sitter. Do not operate heavy machinery. Do not drive. Do not swim. Avoid bodies of water. At least one drowning has been blamed on Datura use. Do not take Datura in situations that may require you to be responsible for yourself or anyone else, or to be able to answer simple questions about who you are and what you are doing. Addiction potential: Datura is not believed to be physically addicting nor likely to cause psychological dependence. Withdrawal effects following discontinuation have not been reported. Long-term health problems summary needed. Risk of death: Datura alkaloids can have toxic effects, including coma or death. 4,5-G of dried Datura stramonium leaves can contain a lethal dose of alkaloids, while flowers and seeds are considerably more potent. DUR, ATIO, and caution reactions and experiences may vary dramatically from person to person. See below. Datura duration: oral total duration 8-18, HRS onset 2120 mins, coming up 6120 mins, plateau 5-12 hours, coming down 2-3 hours after effects 6-24 HRS hangover day after 2-3 day. Note: duration is strongly affected by dose, which can be difficult to accurately predict. Uncommonly large doses can cause effects lasting for 2-3 days. EFFECTSLISTPOSITIVE euphoria, surreal interactions with world, and EUTRAL hallucinations. Elaborate interaction with hallucinations: auditory hallucinations, auditory shifting, and effects. Smoking of phantom cigarettes expands bronchial passages, sometimes used to treat asthma. Loss of appetite, thirst. Inhibits digestion. Clipped, flat speech, slurred speech, loss of sense of the passage of time. NEG, ATIVE, dizziness, headache, dry mouth, dry eyes, inability to focus. Eyes can persist for multiple days. Nausea, usually without vomiting. Feeling of weakness, sedation, stupor, uncoordinated movement. Fear, anxiety, panic. Confusion, delirium, impaired cognitive function, sometimes leading to extremely dangerous behavior. Amnesia, hypothermia, blockade of sweat glands, impairing heat. Dispersal, difficulty breathing, numbness, cardiac failure possible at large doses. NOTES: Datura leaves, seeds, flowers, and roots contain psychoactive chemicals scopolamine, atropine, and hyoscine that not only cause delirium, extreme disorientation, and realistic hallucinations, but also potentially dangerous anticholinergic physical effects. Datura ingestion has caused numerous hospitalizations and deaths around the world. Physical symptoms of Datura intoxication include blurred vision, pupil dilation, skin flushing, fever, severe dry mouth, dry mucous membranes in some cases, leading to nosebleeds, decreased bowel movement, reduced urination, hypothermia, hypertension, and tachycardia. The combination of delirium and dangerous overheating and cardiovascular stimulation can result in patients who are in physical danger but who are unaware of the symptoms they are experiencing and unable to seek help. An older mnemonic for anticholinergic toxicity taught in medical schools was blind as a bat, mad as a hatter, red as a beet, hot as hell, or hot as a hair, dry as a bone. The bowel and bladder lose their tone, and the heart runs alone. Many users report periods of several hours in which they have no memory of what they were doing. Behavior is often irrational, and accidental injury is a serious risk. DETHS deaths following Datura use are sometimes the result of accidental injury from delirious intoxication, and in other cases are a direct result of the anticholinergic physical effects of the drugs in the plant. CAUTIONS dramatic changes in thinking. Changes to thought processes. While among the primary reasons why people choose to use Datura, can also significantly impair judgment. A sober sitter who assumes responsibility for the welfare of a person under the influence can reduce the chances of problems caused by impaired judgment. Hypothermia overheating. Hypothermia is a common problem with high-dose Datura. Dangerous overheating combined with lack of awareness of one's physical state can lead to possibly life-threatening emergencies. No potential for physical dependence addiction. Physical dependence is unknown with Datura use. Very few people enjoy the effects enough to repeat the experience frequently. BENEFITS medical uses. Although Datura plant materials have no approved medical uses, the component substances have a variety of medical uses including drying mucous membranes, protection against nerve gas, slowing bowel movements, reducing bladder spasms, reducing motion sickness, pupil dilation, and slowing down of pupil reaction, among others. U.S. FEDERALLAW. REGULATED no STATUS not approved for human consumption as CHEDULE unscheduled. The Datura plant is uncontrolled in the United States. This means all parts of the plant and its extracts are legal to cultivate, buy, possess, and distribute, sell, trade, or give without a license or prescription. If sold as a supplement, sales must conform to U.S. supplement laws. If sold for consumption as a food or drug, sales are regulated by the FDA. INTERNATIONALLAW Australia. We have been told that O from AM Datura stramonium is listed as a Schedule 1 poison nationally. In end. S. W. Plants containing less than 0.25% alkaloids by weight are a Schedule 2 medicinal poison and must be prescribed by a medical professional, the exception in this case being for smoking preparations. Brazil Datura suivolens is controlled in Brazil. Other Datura species are not listed. Bulgaria. We have been told that growing or possessing Datura is not prohibited under current law, though its use is uncommon. Canada. Neither Datura nor scopolamine are scheduled substances in Canada. India. Although we do not have information about the official status of Datura in India, it has been reported to us that Datura is commonly given in offerings to Lord Shiva and is sold near temples. It also grows wild in many areas. Norway. In Norway, the Datura gymsworth plant is not on the list of narcotics. It is legal to buy and grow, but not to import the plant by mail. U.K. Datura is legal to grow and possess in the U.K. The Datura genus of plants, especially Datura stramonium and related species, contain psychoactive and potentially dangerous levels of tropane alkaloids, atropine, hyoscyamine, and scopolamine. Hyoscyamine is just a specific name for the laboratory-L stereoisomer of atropine and is sometimes lumped in with atropine, where atropine is usually mixture of L and R isomers. The ratios of the different psychoactive tropane alkaloids vary between parts of the plant and change during the growing cycle. As a general rule, we neither recommend nor discourage the use of any psychoactive. However, in the case of tropane alkaloid-containing Solanaceae plants, we think it is important to note that an overwhelming majority of those who describe to us their use of Datura and to a lesser extent, belladonna, brugmansia, and Bromfelsia find their experiences extremely mentally and physically unpleasant and not infrequently physically dangerous. There is no way to guess a reasonable dose because potency of the plant material itself and appropriate dose for an individual appear to vary so much. The question of what reasonable means for something that so often leads to such ridiculously negative effects is hard to say. As an admixture plant in some traditional ayahuasca brews, smoking blends, or other preparations, parts of these plants are generally used in very low doses. Because of the serious adverse consequences associated with tropane alkaloid scopolamine, atropine, hyoscyamine intoxication, and the wide variation in doses used, we are unwilling to even speculate about specific dosages for the leaves, flowers, and seeds of these plants. If you are considering ingesting Datura group plants, please read extensively from the collected experience reports and never take them without a reliable sober sitter who understands the likely health issues and who can stop you from walking in front of traffic. Please note that fatalities from ingesting Datura do occur and hospitalizations seem to be quite common in spite of the relatively low rates of psychoactive use of these plants. Thanks for listening. For more failed guides like this, please subscribe.
What do you think to the avatar? Let me know.